Hey, this is Meriidth Elliott Powell, and welcome to Sales Logic, the show where we dive into the strategies, we discuss the steps, everything that you need to know to well sell logically. And I'm here with my partner, Mark Hunter. Hey, Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, good afternoon. You know what? I would think by now we would have everything figured out, but no, I guess we keep coming back every week for another show, Sales Logic. Yeah, I think we got some good stuff planned.
I think we do too. I mean, last week's show was exceptionally good, but as we head into the holidays, I don't know about you, but I am hard pressed to believe that next week we are going to be looking at Christmas, and it is almost time to say goodbye to 2020. What a year it has been.
I thought we had another week before Christmas. I was telling that to my wife last night, and I said, "What this?" And she says, "No, it's next week." And I go, "Oh man, like whoa, that was popped bubble."
Yeah. All right. So quickly before you dive in and tell everybody the topic and the question, I'm just going to give everybody a quick brief overview. Again, just a quick reminder of how the show works. Every single week, we come on, stay 20, 25 minutes max, and we cover 4 areas. Number one is we have a topic every week, something really relevant that we're going to discuss that is going to help you drive your sales pipeline. We have a question from you, the viewer. So, hey, if you want to be on Sales Logic, all you have to do is post on social media, use the hashtag SalesLogic, or reach out to us directly at saleslogicpodcast.com. We've got the coolest little program there that lets you just record your question right on our website. We're going to cover a book that you should be reading, and we're going to close with a lightning round, because the most important thing that we want to happen is to make sure that you get return on investment. So hang on with us until the end. So Mark, you want to start with the question?
Yeah, and you know what? We should tease them with the additional bonus, and that's the webinar that we're going to do.
Oh, right. Yeah,
that we've got December 29th.
Yeah,
you don't have anything else to do on the 29th, right? But you can join Meriidth, myself. We got kind of in fact, we're going to start doing these on a regular basis. We just have to be pushed. You and I just have to be pushed, because clearly we're sitting around doing nothing. We're not doing anything else.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you want to join us the 29th at noon Eastern, and I'm going to go and find the sign up sheet for that and put it in the notes here.
Yeah. And we'll also make sure that it's in the show notes. So if you're listening to the podcast, you'll find it in the show notes there, because it's the 29th, and it's going to be a great way to get more of Meriidth, because that's really what you want. And I just kind of come along for the ride. So anyway, hey, with that, let's jump in. We got a great, let me introduce the topic, but then I'm going to jump to the question. The topic we're going to be talking about here today is, how much time should I be spending prospecting versus dealing with my existing customers? So that's the topic. Now, here's the question. The question is, and it's from James in Phoenix. I've had a long running email trail with him over the last 3-4 days with this one. Here's the question. Is there a price point for a monthly service that you recommend setting an appointment versus closing over the phone? For example, a software subscription for $99 per business versus $500 per business. In other words, the idea being is that, when can you just sell off a phone call, and when do you have to schedule a call to sell? What's that magical sweet spot?
And meaning schedule a call, meaning you show up in person?
Well, he was actually using this example in terms of, do I set up a Zoom call? Do I have to call somebody and arrange a specific time to be on the phone with them, or on a Zoom call to be able to sell them? And he sells a $2,000 software item. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of changed the parameters of it. And so I'd love to hear your perspective. Can you just sell it on a one call? Can you just sell it without any kind of a commitment?
This is kind of a challenging, this is sort of a challenging question. I mean, number one is are we just talking about a prospect? I mean, I don't want to say that you can't do anything, because I just don't think that's true. At the same time, I think everybody has sort of a style and natural way they sell. I'll give you an example. Yesterday morning, I had a client reach out from a prospect reach out from Europe. They found me on the internet, and they're looking for a fairly small workshop. It's nothing huge, but they just asked me to quote it right over the email. No, I don't do that. I said, could we set up a call? And I set up a 15-minute call this morning, which ended up being 30 minutes, because I want to connect. I want to see them, and I really want to understand what the heck I'm pitching, because what I would have answered in that email, I don't always know that it's only a $1,500. Maybe a $1,500 could be. I certainly have had so many clients ask me for a project that they believe is $30,000, and maybe when I get in there, there's really something I could do for $11,000, or the other way around. So I don't typically do things that way.
I like how you answered it, because I answered it from the customer's perspective, because to one customer, a $99 purchase might be huge.
Yeah.
To another customer, $500 might be chump change. And it comes down to two things. What is the importance and the urgency that what you sell is going to help them with? In other words, if you were right in the middle of knowing that there was going to be a fire coming through your neighborhood, and you had an insurance agent call, you would take whatever price quote or whatever price you wanted to pay for fire insurance, because you want to make sure you were protected, because there's immediacy, there's urgency, et cetera, et cetera. But on the other hand, if what you're selling is, it's a nice to have, it's not really urgent, it really doesn't matter what the price point is. You've got to be able to create. And it comes back to kind of what you said. You've got to understand what the customer's looking for. Because if you don't understand what the customer's looking for, don't sit there and assume. But, and this is what I told this guy, this is what I told James. I said, James, don't set expectations that you can or can't do something. That is fatal in sales. Always go into every call that you can do something, that you can. You just have to have that attitude. If you can't on that initial call and you have to schedule something, that's fine. But if you can close it, close it.
Yeah.
Get the sale. Make it happen. Help the customer.
Yeah. I would also say too, really, really pay attention to the customer. Like I said, I got that email yesterday morning. They're in Europe, so there's, 6 hours ahead of me. And he was pretty adamant that he wanted something done before the holiday season. The holiday season is here. So I'm willing to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to have a phone call early to meet his urgent demand. I didn't want to just answer something in email because we'd never met. I like to be able to bring my energy to a call, but I wasn't going to push this out 2 days to fit into a United States time frame of 8 to 5.
Just a second. You said, I'll get up early. You get up early all the time. Come on. You and I trade emails at 5 a.m. in the morning all the time. So don't tell me that, I'll pick it up early. Okay.
Let me just say I was willing to look presentable at between 4 and 5 a.m.
Okay. Now that's a different response. Okay. That's different one.
Yeah. But I just want to say that you need to pay attention to the urgency of your customer's time frame rather than make things work for you, right. Especially if you're forcing a meeting.
Because when you sell to the customer's timeline, it's amazing how much easier the sale is. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the topic. The topic is, how much time should I be spending prospecting versus dealing with my existing customers?
Well, a lot of that depends on how many there's a lot of factors in here. How many existing customers do you have? And how much more business opportunity is there? Now, in most of the worlds that I sell into, and Mark, I would imagine it's the same for you, I find that most companies and most sales professionals have not scratched the surface with the existing customers they have. And you've got to understand that in an uncertain marketplace, business grows from the inside out. So let's assume that I call on Mark. He's my prospect. He's seen my reputation online. He's really impressed with the product that I'm selling. most likely Mark is still going to verify me with my other customers before he buys from me. So if I have not made my existing customers really happy, if I'm not taking really good care of them, then finding new opportunities, finding new opportunities is going to be more challenging. At the same time, if you don't have a lot of existing customers, if you're fairly new, then you better be spending 70 to 80% of your time prospecting and bringing in new business.
Well, here's a piece I'll add. We have to spend time with existing customers, but we can do overkill with existing customers and use it as an excuse why we shouldn't have to prospect. Mm-hmm. Now, I've always been one to prospect, but I've always been one to take care of customers. And I'll share with the audience an example. This is about 10 years ago. My business was doing really well, and I was doing a lot of consulting at the time. And I had about 5 very major customers. And if I said the name, I think 4 of them were Fortune 500 companies and very stable business. And I remember I was going to China for 10 days. And I was going to be teaching some classes over there, doing some work over there with one of the clients. And this was going to be great. And I got on that plane very confident. This is great. Man, I got these 5. I've never had my business rolling so well. When I got off the plane in LA, I'll never forget, within 24 hours, it was 6 customers. 5 of the 6 had fallen apart, had literally fallen apart on me. 2 of them had been acquired by major competitors, and they literally went into freeze form. Another one, I'd been working with the VP of sales. He got fired. New president, new CEO came in. He got fired. I mean, in all these cases, in literally within a day or 2, my business went poof. I mean, it went poof. And the lesson of that was, I thought I had a great business, and I did have a good business, but I was not paying enough attention to always developing the pipeline. Now, fortunately, I was able to revive and get other business going quickly. But several of those customers, 3 of those customers, never, ever came back. Yeah. So this is the problem. You got to watch that you don't become over-reliant on existing customers. Get you into trouble. So how much time do you think, if somebody, let me phrase it this way. Do you believe there's a minimum amount of time every salesperson should spend prospecting?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of tend to think of things in percentages. I mean, I imagine everybody does it very differently, but in my business, 60% of my calls are with existing customers. Now, understanding that existing customers means I may not be doing business with you right now, but I've done business with you in the past. And 40% is total outreach on brand new opportunities. And that split seems to work really well with me. I mean, I've been in business over 15 years right now. I've got pretty large and deep depth of existing or former clients that I spend a lot of my time mining for opportunities there. Here's the problem with existing customers is if you're really taking care of existing customers, meaning, you're out there, you're having a conversation, you're looking for new opportunities. I know back in the day when I used to manage sales teams, sometimes taking care of existing customers meant what we would refer to as howdy doody calls, which meant I'd check in and I'd say, hey, Mark, how are things going? And you'd say, oh, good, Meriidth, and I'd say, have you got everything shopped for the kids for Christmas? And you'd say, yeah. And I'd say, okay, great. Now call me if you need anything. That is not a sales call, and that's not taking care of existing customers. Taking care of existing customers means that at least 2 to 3 times a year, I sit down, I have an in-depth talk with you about what's working for you, what isn't working for you, where you see the business in the next year, what's your biggest challenge, what's your biggest opportunity, and where do we need to be focused. For me, 60% of that is spent on people that I have done business with before, and 40% is finding new business opportunity.
See, I like that. Now, for a lot of people who are listening to this, they may have the title account executive, account manager. And I'll share an example back here a few years ago, back when oil was at about $120 a barrel going up. Boy, the oil services industry was hot. And I was working with a company, and one of the account managers had this basically it was a Chick-fil-A Dunkin' Donuts mentality. Every customer he would go in to visit, he'd go in at the same time every week, and either taking Dunkin' Donuts or Chick-fil-A something. And you talk about a howdy doody call with a howdy doody call was, and it was stupid. I say, even if you're an account manager with dedicated, you must be spending at least 15% of your time prospecting. And when I mean prospecting, not just getting business within your existing customers, but outside. You've got to keep prospecting is a skill. It's a muscle, and it's got to be exercised. And if you don't exercise it, it's going to wither away on you. And that's what I see happening, because what happens is salespeople have these accounts, they go away, and poof, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, the other thing is that you're wasting your customers' time too. I mean, I always say that sales call is a privilege. Somebody's giving you something that is so important to them, and that's their time. They're not going to get it back. And for anybody who understands what it's like to run a business, your time is precious. You know, I mean, if you're anything that you're doing, taking you away from generating revenue is costing you money. So when you engage with a salesperson, you as a salesperson need to realize, I need to be doing something in this moment that is going to make them money, save them money, or give them peace of mind. And if I'm not, then I need to take my donuts and I need to go home.
Well, that's the whole thing, because the guy was looked upon as a village idiot.
Yeah.
Because all he was doing was every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, he brings in donuts and walks into the break room and sits down and it's like stupid. And 11:30 Chick-fil-A, it's like dumb. Yeah. And the customers never valued him.
Yeah.
For any level of expertise. Now, I hate to tell you this, the person didn't have any. Okay, I'm sorry. I will calm down. The client is no longer in business. Let's just put it that way. So anyway. Any other comments on that? Because then I'll get to the book.
I would just say that right now we're in strategic planning phase. You're thinking about what you're going to do for 2021. And I think this is such a great topic, because if you don't know the answer to that question, if you haven't put any thought between how much you're spending on existing customers, what your strategy looks like for existing customers, and what you're spending on prospecting, then now's the time. As you throw a little mud at the wall, it doesn't have to be perfect, but as you go into 2021, answer that question. It's an important question to answer, and it's going to make more efficient and effective use of your time.
Okay, I got to throw in one more comment, because I call that CFT, customer facing time. And you measure your customer facing time with existing, accounts that you have, and CFT with prospecting. And I tell you what, you measure that for a few weeks, and woo, yeah, it's going to highlight some pretty scary things. But hey, we need to get to the book. The book I have selected is written by a couple people I know. And hey, it is up for Book of the Year by Top Sales World. The book is Who Comes Next, written by Mary Kelly and Meriidth Elliott Powell. And I'll tell you what, I get to choose the book this week, and I did because I recommended it yesterday to a company I was working with, because it's interesting. It's a family-owned business, and they're kind of saying they kind of need to start making some shifts. And I said, get this book. This book is absolutely gold, because it really helps you understand what do you need to do as an organization to be preparing people and getting them ready to move into the next role. And I think right now with the pandemic, we're seeing a lot of people kind of exit stage right. So the book, Who Comes Next, Mary Kelly and Meriidth Elliott Powell. Get it.
Awesome. It's available on Amazon. You can find it at our websites. And look, in 2021, we've got another book coming out called Me Next, Putting Yourself in the Driver's Seat and 100% in Charge of Your Own Career. All right. It is time for the lightning round, isn't it?
I did have to notice how you just put in a little additional promotional plug on it. So I love it. Anyway. Okay. Are you ready for the lightning round? The lightning round is this: tips to use time more efficiently.
Oh, one of my favorite tips to use time more efficiently is never leave the office without your to-do list for the next day done and prioritized, meaning that you have put it in order of the things that are most important to get done in the next day.
I kind of call that tomorrow begins today. But hey, here's the thing I'll say. Meriidth and I were kind of joking about it earlier, but get up early. It is amazing how much work I'm able to have done before 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. I would say color code your calendar. I started doing this a while ago. Light green and dark green are revenue generating for me. Red is transforming my business. Everything else is peach. It is quote unquote a waste of my time or non-generating. But by color coding my calendar, I really protect the red and the green, really trying to cover it more in that. It makes you think about where and how you're spending your time to be more productive.
I hope I never appear as a peach on your calendar.
That's right.
Here's what I say: time block. Break your day into 4 2-hour segments. Each 2-hour segment, you are focused on one very specific task. And that's what you're zeroed in on. At the conclusion of that 2-hour period, you ask yourself, how did you do? You evaluate yourself based on each 2-hour period. And each of those 4 need to have a common theme throughout the week. It might be prospecting, existing customers, personal growth, taking care of everything else. But you schedule your day and your time around those 2-hour blocks, and it's amazing how much more time you will have.
You need to know yourself, and you need to know how you work and how you work productively. I can't sit for more than 90 minutes at a time, and so I schedule my day where I every 90 minutes I get some form of a break. I may go downstairs and exercise. I may go, just take a break for lunch. I may even go to social media or something. But I know myself and how I work and where I'm productive. And Mark made a great point earlier too. I'm a morning person as well. Everything I schedule for late afternoon is easy tasks because I don't think well. I won't write at that time well. I certainly won't do proposals well. So I get my most important tasks done first thing in the morning.
So this is why we're doing the podcast in the afternoon. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey, here's the whole thing. Schedule breaks. Just as you said, you step away. Literally put breaks into your calendar that you shut it down, you turn it off, and you walk away. I routinely will do this for a 15-minute. You say you walk away after every 90 minutes. I may go 2 or 3 hours, but I schedule there's a 15-minute block that I'm literally going to walk out of my office and I'm going to go someplace else.
Nice. Oh, Sean, you are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm looking at the comments. We just got a question in here. What are the best approaches within business development? I have been a regional sales manager and for most of my career, and over a year ago went to business development mentality. It's made all the difference in sales to build relationships. Do you see trends to business development versus sales managers? Well, Joe, what I'm going to tell you is you better tune in next week because you are going to be the question of the week, because we are just about to run out of time here, but you can catch us next week and we're going to put your question front and center. But my last tip for managing time is you better manage your energy, not your time. There are certain tasks that I had to deal with bills this morning. I had to deal with doing some collections. That sucks the life right out of me. So as soon as that was done, I allowed myself a good long hour to make sales calls with some of my favorite customers because that puts the energy right back into my body. And you better know what sucks the energy out of it and what puts the energy back into it, because if you do that, you're going to be more productive than you've ever been.
And I'll tell you what,
Joe.
Time is the one resource that you can't make more of. You can't. So what that means, it's a finite resource. That means you delegate and you get other people to do anything and everything you possibly can, because time is the one thing that you have to protect. Hey, with that, we're out of time. So we need to kind of need to shut this down. So, hey, I'm going to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, consider telling a friend about our show. It's how we grow to help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meriidth Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical.
All right, Joe and Sean and everybody else out there, tune back in next week because we're going to have another Sales Logic. Just watch our LinkedIn profiles to figure out when in our crazy schedules we are going to fix this and fit it in. But we are going to get one more in before the holiday officially ends and kicks off. That's it.